world's media. Still street boys bring the party. Bring the noise from Hialeah with some joy.
Should I say
water like that?
Well, I'm telling you, bro. I'm focused, bro. I'm focused, man. Yeah, inside out.
You don't know who I am by now.
So you identify as.
You know, hey. When Alex takes a shower, the dude goes for 3 hours. I mean, it's like, you know he's going to be gone for a while. You have time. Do whatever you're going to do. Go grocery shopping. Go eat dinner.
Latin spice and neon lights.
And nothing is more true than that right there. If this guy says, I'll be quick, bro. Let me go. I'm going to go jump in the shower. I'll call you when I'm ready to go. Just know that you got time. Go do whatever you need to do. You know, go watch a freaking movie. Go take a do whatever.
Yep.
You got time.
Yep.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to East Century Boys, straight out of Hialeah. I'm Bobby El Gringo. That's Alex the Boy. Buenos noches. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Alex, my brother, how are you?
Good, my bilingual friend. I am doing great, buddy. It's nice and it's kind of a little breezy today here in Miami. It's been raining nonstop for like 2 days, so it's cooling down a little bit. We had like a little mini thunderstorm yesterday, but we're all good, man. How are you guys doing up north?
Good. Same kind of situation. You know, it was like, you know, we had that Memorial Day weekend. We're like, oh, great. We got a 4-day weekend. We're golden. It rained the whole time. We couldn't get out of the house. In-laws are in Puerto Rico, so we're chilling out here. Me, the wife, and the kids. So making the most of that, working from home. You know, we got some stuff, of course, cooking with FTSN. You know how it is, Alex. You know, we got Dolphins, Heat, Marlins, everything. We got wrestling. Actually, because of all the wrestling content that we've been doing, you know, the different talks, is Alex, you know, you can talk about old stuff, the WCW, the WWF, Attitude Era, talk about documentaries that they got on the Netflix. You got all that stuff. We got all that stuff. And I told Josh Kimmel, the co-host, my co-host on the show, I'm like, hey, I said, we got so many stuff. It counts north for Miami, you know, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's north from us. So
it's still south, even though they're like, we're from the south. I'm like, well, I'm from the south, homie. So, you know what I mean? I've had that conversation before.
From the down under.
From the down under, brother. But we actually opened up a No Holds Barred wrestling channel. So we already had kind of a library, and so we're doing kind of different things, which is it's actually fun because there's always something to talk about. But other than that, Miami Sports, welcome to the show. Appreciate you dropping in. DSG, appreciate you dropping in there as well. I you know what? I'll tell you what. I don't know what the Florida Panthers are going to do in the offseason, but I trust our GM. I trust what they're going to do. I think, you know, I would have loved to see them make another run in the playoffs, but I think because of the runs that they have had the past 3 seasons, I think it's good that they took a little bit of a break, let them come back next year strong and fresh and ready to roll. Alex, man, we got a lot to talk about, especially with the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, you know, are in on that Giannis Antetokounmpo, and so much different updates going on. So many different, you don't know what to believe, who to believe. You know, 1 minute we're getting closer to a trade. Miami is the team that everybody's hearing. The executives and people are saying, hey, when this is all over, no matter what you're hearing, he's going to be on the Miami Heat. Great. Then you see a video of him interviewing with someone. He's walking around a restaurant, blah, blah, blah. And he says, you know, I love Milwaukee. I love this spot. You know, since I've been with the team for 13 years, I hope I'm here for the next whatever. There he is. He's saying he wants to stay in Milwaukee. Then watch out for the Trailblazers. Oh, look, here comes the Celtics. A lot of noise. Don't know where to turn, who to listen to. Alex, help clear the picture. What's the noise?
Man, it like you just mentioned, there's so much noise that is very difficult to quiet it. You're kind of in between. Are all these legit? Now, the athletic reporting, I believe there was 2. It was one person that's close to the Bucks, and the other one is Sam Amick. Those are legit reports. So I would not discount the interest in Boston. And typically Boston is not very loud with what they're thinking about doing. Brad Stevens kind of works on the behind the shadows as well, kind of like Pat Riley and the Heat organization I worked for many years. So that one intrigues me. The Orlando noise, it all depends if they're willing to move Banchero or Franz Wagner. And they're signed long term. So the tricky part about this is does Milwaukee want this? Because Boston has some draft capital. Orlando doesn't have draft capital. They emptied out their chest with the Desmond Bain move. So it comes down to, does Milwaukee want to have Banchero and Wagner long term, build around them? That's an option. But at the end of the day, all this noise and Giannis it's a difficult situation because he's a superstar that he's a free thinker, but you also can see that he has a problem with being the bad guy or directly coming out and demanding a trade and making it ugly. He's trying to leave on good terms. And I believe he's done enough in Milwaukee that'll be reciprocal. And it's not like Miami is just giving them a bunch of shit. Like we're giving them a lot of picks. We're giving them young pieces. So Miami might have the most balanced package out there. It might not be the most attractive name-wise, but at the end of the day, I think this is going to end up being a 2, 3, maybe even a 4-team trade. There's going to be a lot of movement going on. And what Miami Sports says is true. The Pelicans, there's a lot of noise there. There's a lot of noise about a mega trade that is kind of being worked on, and it involves a lot of moving pieces. So remember when we talked about this offseason that it was going to be a landscape-changing offseason, you kind of see where it's coming from. Obviously, the first domino is going to be Giannis. That's for sure. Now, when it's quiet, and it has been quiet per se, that means that something is brewing. Now, you don't know at this point if it's, since you are in the same conference, are you trying to debilitate the Heat? Are you trying to extract more assets from them by creating this market that is not there? Because remember, people like to compare this a lot to the Dame situation, but Giannis is basically on a 1-year contract. So he has leverage here. Giannis can say, I'm only going to sign here, and that automatically removes every leverage, all leverage that the Bucks have. So I think he's trying to cooperate a little bit with Milwaukee. At the end of the day, he wants to go into a situation where it's not a depleted situation. So that's where the whole Boston and Miami thing comes into play. I do believe Miami has enough leverage that they don't have to give up the whole farm. And I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but if you're including this year's pick, the 13 overall pick, there's a chance that you might even be able to keep Khalil Ware. I might be wrong. Khalil might be part of the package no matter what because the Bucks won't negotiate with you. But I still feel Miami has the cards where they might be the only team that Giannis is interested in that they have full cap space in 2027. They can sign Giannis outright if he opts out. Will we get to that point? Probably not because he will be moved. Are there other backup plans that Miami could have? Absolutely. But I don't think by any means Giannis is going back to Milwaukee. I just believe this is a matter of where is he going to be traded to? And the writing's on the wall. Milwaukee has to restart their run here. They have to move Miles Turner. They have to move Bobby Portis Jr. And they have a chance right now, even with their limitations because of waiving and stretching Dame Lillard and then signing Miles Turner. Like they put themselves in a hole to try to appease Giannis, which I don't know what the hell they were doing. But this is their moment for them to rebuild their roster. They could have a top 10 pick, a top 13 pick. They could have multiple picks going down the line. And with the whole new anti-tanking rules, those picks are even more valuable because mid-tier teams might even have a bigger chance of getting the first pick overall or top 5 picks, top 3 picks. So it's a lot of smoke right now. And usually when there is so much smoke, that means that a deal might be getting close to being fulfilled or completed. And there's a lot of teams trying to extract more. Boston might be trying to distract of what they're trying to do with Jaylen Brown. Are they going to move Jaylen Brown? There's a package of Troy Murphy they're trying to acquire. Warriors are trying to get in Kawhi. There's a lot of things going on in the NBA. So when there's a lot of smoke, usually means that something is close. But either way, we will probably have a resolution for sure before draft night. But I'm pretty sure after the finals are over, that is when a lot of this info is going to start picking up. A lot of info start leaking or a lot of deals be consummated. So we'll see where it ends up.
Absolutely. So some of the noise right now are some of the stories that are coming out. If you're following some of this Heat talk, the Portland possibility of the Trailblazers, we've heard that. However, what's kind of not or some of the case that's been brought up pretty early on, the kind of take away from the Portland side of it is that Giannis Antetokounmpo has made it pretty known, or it's been out there, loud rumors, he doesn't want to go to the West. He wants to stay in the East. And think about where Portland is compared to a team like the Celtics, who might be a little more dangerous, or even the Magic. The Portland Trailblazers are nowhere close to those teams, even the Miami Heat. Because even if you were to trade the package of Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaquez, or Jovic, depending on who you believe, and the 13th pick, you still have a capable team. You think about it. There's the latest one that came out was from, let me see here, from Florida, from Sports Buzz, which is Barry Jackson, who was pretty into the know with the Miami Heat, with the Dolphins, etc. He says if the Heat were to acquire Giannis, Miami could resign both Norman Powell, and Andrew Wiggins and get an access to full of 15.5 mid-level exception for another signing.
Yeah.
Miami, this is what he says exactly. The Heat might be able to re-sign impending free agents Powell and Wiggins, who has a $30 million player option, and use the full $15.5 million mid-level exception if the players were both slightly to take pay cuts in their first year, and if the Heat are willing to spend above the $201 million tax line, but below the $209 million option first apron.
Correct.
If you think about that, to me, that kind of takes out the Trailblazers, unless they were to throw a big, because in regards to Giannis wanting to play there, and I think even though the Bucks could just do it, the report has been that the Bucks want to do right by Giannis. They want to do right by him. So that takes away Portland, in my opinion. Now, with the Magic and the Celtics, the report is, of course, by Sam Amick, or Amak. I don't know how to say his last name, Alex. But Sam Amick. He says Giannis would be more intrigued to join the Celtics rather than the Heat. That
was misquoted.
Was it misquoted? Okay.
Yeah,
because I would say that makes sense because it's just Jason Tatum and all that. But somebody did write that that's not what he said.
No.
Actually,
he said the Heat were still the preferred destination, but Giannis is intrigued by the possibility of with the Celtics.
He says it right here. Here it is. Hot Hoops reposted that. He says, and then there's the question of how Antetokounmpo sees the Celtics situation. That might be a matter more than anything else. While league sources have long maintained that he's interested in joining the Heat, there are also indications that he's very intrigued with the prospect of joining a Celtics team that, by any objective measure, is deeper and more dynamic than Miami's, and could thus remain more competitive after a blockbuster deal. And again, Antetokounmpo's focus on getting back to title contention should not be overlooked. That's what he had said. So he didn't say he was more intrigued.
Correct.
He just said the obvious point.
Correct.
The Heat is prepared to give Giannis. Let me see who said this. This is Barry Jackson. The Heat is prepared to give Giannis Antetokounmpo an extension and is operating with the belief that it would be able to keep him beyond the season. And he has a player option for 26-27. That's why the team is willing to open its full cupboard of assets other than Adebayo. So it is, again, a full thing of rumors that still point to the Miami Heat, but you cannot ignore the Boston Celtics. You cannot ignore the Orlando Magic, especially because of the assets that they have. Now, let's say it does happen. Let's say the worst scenario happens here, Alex, and Boston or Orlando makes the trade. They land Giannis, or Giannis extends in Milwaukee. Miami doesn't get him. Let's say it happens, right? Miami has thrown everything on the table. Heat fans can't say in the end of this, oh, Miami didn't do enough. They didn't make the deal. You can't give them everybody in the roster. The only guy they haven't put on the table is Adebayo, which it wouldn't make sense if that was the case. You can't say that. It's up to Milwaukee now if they're going to. The other thing I saw there was that Milwaukee has Miami's deal as a backup option. They have the deal on the table. They like it, but now they're going around the league saying, "Hey, can you offer me anything better?" If they get anything better, they could pull the trigger. And if that happens, Miami's going to have to pivot. Now, Alex, you've looked at it. You've kind of seen what that backup plan could be. What's the backup plan for Miami if they are not to get Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Well, man, look, the automatic backup plan, of course, is Kawhi Leonard. That's your de facto 1B if you don't get Giannis. Now, he's going to come at a way lesser cost than Giannis. So you're going to have your core probably intact. You're going to move certain players, but you're going to have your core basically intact, and your young pieces, maybe you're only going to have to move one or two. So that gives you a good foundation. It gives you a good window there, and you can still manage to do the same thing. Re-sign Andrew Wiggins if you don't move him. Re-sign Powell, and you give yourself like a 2-year window with Kawhi Leonard. You get to keep Khalil. You get to keep your 13 overall pick. So you're building on that. The other option, obviously, is John Morant, and you can get involved and be part of that Pelicans deal, because you can try to plug Trey Murphy. You can try to get DeJounte Murray. There's a lot of options there, and there's things that are going to come up. I know the Sabonis name is going to come up again from Sacramento. I know there have been some rumors about that. I think that's way, 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 way back. Option like C. But it is a possibility that you will explore, depending on what's the cost, what's the length of his contract. And by all means, I believe that no matter what, Hero is going to be moved this offseason. That's a decision that has to be made. This is not, you're not going to play him on a 1-year contract, a remaining contract, because you're not going to extend them. So Hero will be moved. Then you get into your free agencies. You're going to be able to use your mid-level. You're talking about Kobe White, Ayo from the Timberwolves. You can try to pluck them as well. You can do a bunch of sign and trades. There's always a LeBron James conversation. That, to me, if it's you acquire Kawhi, you acquire Giannis, LeBron's just not going to come over for a farewell tour. If you have a legit championship contender, that's why a lot of people even talk about the Giannis. Oh, like the roster will be depleted. When you say comments like that, I don't think people understand that even now, we might have like 2 rotational pieces that are not going to be moved in regards to like Myron Gardner, Keshad Johnson, that are kind of like in the back of the rotation. But with this move, you're still going to be able to keep either Pele or Kasparis. You got Drew Smith. Like, you got rotational pieces. You can build with mid-level money. You can get a nice backup big. You can get rotational size. So you can build around Giannis. You can build if you acquire Kawhi, especially Miami. Like, there's going to be no shortness of options in regards, and we still got our 2nd-round pick as well. So I don't buy this whole thing about we're not being able to compete. We might not be able to have the perfect roster, but I believe that we will have enough to compete this year in the East. And honestly, the East to me is wide open. So that Giannis will do a disservice until Minnesota, when they vote for this expansion and 32 teams, they want to possibly vote for that. So either Memphis or Minnesota is going to move to the East. Until that happens, the East is wide open. So you have your chance now. You build now. When you get to the finals, that's when you got to match up with OKC, with San Antonio, and that's another beast within themselves. But there's many options, Bobby, that are going to come up from now until the draft day. And there's always a surprise player that gets traded that we had no clue that was going to be moved. So I'm going to wait until the finals come out to kind of see where the landscape lands with that.
Yeah, it's for me, like Giannis right now, I know there are some fans who are like, hey, just do what you got to do. Get Giannis. You can figure out everything else later. Just give them whatever they want, minus Adebayo, and you figure it out later. I'd hate to give up, obviously Hawkins and Ware and Jovic and Pele or anything like that for, then you kind of depleted, which I would understand why Giannis would be a little hesitant to join the Heat if they were to deplete the roster minus Adebayo, because then you're kind of filling the team with scraps. However, what comes into play is you think of that mid-level exception, which obviously if you were to bring Giannis in, re-sign Andrew Wiggins, bring back Norman Powell, or re-sign Norman Powell, bring back Andrew Wiggins, you got that full MLE, mid-level exception. There's that rumor that LeBron would do that in that type of scenario with Adebayo. Does that come into play? Of course, his agent, Rich Paul, has said, don't count on it. However, you can't ignore that possibility. Now, if you don't get Giannis, the backup plan that's been reported, that's been rumored that Miami would switch right away, would try to get, would be Kawhi Leonard. You bring in a Kawhi Leonard, even if you bring in Giannis, you can't ignore the other rumor is that you can't ignore John Morant. I think that still comes into play if they were to bring back Kawhi, or they would go after Kawhi Leonard. They still target John Morant, and they try to get that deal done. The point is, Miami can't go back just running back the roster. If the Giannis deal falls through, Miami has to do something to to come back with a different roster next year to make a run, because you can't tell your fan base you're serious about winning, serious about turning this around, and come back and running it back with the same roster. Tyler Hero, as good as he can be and as he is, more than likely he should be the one moved no matter what. You've got to figure out a way to move him, maybe get an extra draft pick. Again, I don't think it's a bad thing to have the 13th pick and make and select somebody. I think getting another young player on this team, especially with Miami's track record now with Khalil Ware, with Jaquez, you go, and the case is still out on Jovic, that Miami were to keep the 13th pick, it's not a bad deal. It's not a bad move. If Miami can move Tyler Hero for another first-round pick, even in the 20s, that's not a bad situation for Miami. That, to me, is trying to make a different roster to improve it, bringing back Norman Powell and Andrew Wiggins. So Miami has the options. Obviously, the number one option is go get Khalil Ware. Go get Giannis. If it doesn't work out, to me, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to go, we're going to have a shitty team next year. That's not true. There's still possibilities out there to make Miami better, and that is even using the 13th pick to go get a player to put on your roster, because there's so much talent in this upcoming draft. Miami's doing the homework. Even if they trade the 13th pick, they still have the second rounder. They still could get a very good player on this roster from the draft. So there's options there, Alex, for sure.
Yeah, no, and man, when people, I love the people that the common fan that just comes up and says, "Oh my God, if we trade everything for Giannis, we got nothing left." I'm like, before you make a move of this magnitude, you already have the secondary, the third, and the fourth move in mind, and you've already talked to agents, you've already talked to players. Giannis will be aware of what's being shipped out, what is possibly coming to Miami. Bam and Giannis share an agent. If there's anybody that knows what's going on, it's Giannis's agent. And there's open lines of communication between agents and franchises. You can't talk to the player directly, but you can talk to the agent. Players can talk to one another. This is common knowledge. And the fact of leverage, to me, Giannis has a 5-year contract right now, right? And there's a bidding war. You justify giving up everything. The dilemma I believe that the fans have, the Heat fans have, is that we are at a point of leverage. All we need Giannis to say is like, I'm only going to sign with Miami. And we always want to win every deal. And you're going to win this deal. You're going to acquire Giannis. But you're going to have to give up a few things to acquire him, because even if the market is inflated, there is a little market for Giannis, because there is a team that might take a chance on him, even if it's a 1-year rental. Like, that could happen. But
happened with the Toronto Raptors.
Exactly. So that could happen. Miami can kind of play along and wait for 2027, just like the Clippers did, and be able to acquire him, just sign him outright. That's a possibility. But you also run the risk of, if he's traded to Orlando and he likes it and he extends, now that's it. That was your plan. You got to pivot right away.
Yep.
So this is a summer. I know we have cap space next year, but if we acquire Giannis, that cap space is gone, because now you're building your team from now. So forget that cap space. That's not a priority. But this is the summer that makes a decision. This is the final try for Giannis. If you don't acquire him now, unless there's a plan in place to sign him next year, that's it. You pivot officially. So that's why they're willing to give up another prospect. They're willing to give up another piece just to get it secured. Why? Because they trust themselves. They know they can build a championship roster. They trust themselves with their talent evaluation. And there is no player that's going to hold up this trade. I believe if we can keep, out of all this move, realistically, if we can keep Pella and Kasparis, we come out winning. If we can somehow, by the grace of God, keep Khalil, this is a home run. But I know that's not realistic, because if I'm the Bucks GM, I'm asking for Khalil. I'll take Hero. I want Hero. I need the scoring. I have a manageable contract. I can move him out. He's an expiring deal. I can move him before the trade deadline if I want to. But I want Khalil. I want to get my hands on Khalil. I want to get my hands on the 13th pick. So now I got the 10th and the 13th pick on a stacked draft. Like, Milwaukee can rebuild their team, man. And yes, absolutely. There's going to be a multi-team trade for salary purposes, for personnel purposes, for compensation purposes. A lot of teams, when they see these situations, they'll just cling on to it. Then maybe they extract a second-round pick to help you absorb some salary. Chicago's going to be huge. Chicago this offseason is going to be huge, because they're going to absorb contracts They're going to absorb bad deals in order to get more draft capital. So watch for them. They're going to be a player here this offseason.
So we're talking about a 13 deal. There's some framework deal here that somebody threw out there, Evan Sittery. What he says there, though, the Celtics can offer a legal trade package for the Bucks for Giannis without including Jaylen Brown. That would be Derek White, Sam Hauser, Hugo Gonzalez, Baylor, Shireman to 27th overall pick, 27, 31, 33 first-round picks for those 3 seasons. Honestly, and I like Hugo Gonzalez. Obviously, Derek White is nothing to ignore. Sam Hauser, good score. Not really know much about Baylor, Sherman, but to me, if I'm Milwaukee, I don't like that. I don't like that deal compared to Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Hawkins or Jovic. You know, like
just Khalil Ware alone.
That's exactly that alone, right? But like for me, like you were just bringing up those names, and I'm with you, right? You keep Pele, great. You keep Casper's great. You keep Hawkins, to me, that's home because Khalil Ware to me is gone. Like that sucks, and I hate that because I love Khalil Ware. I would keep him and go get the 13th pick and whatever. Like if you can't get Giannis, don't go after Kawhi because he can't stay healthy. To me, it's like keep Khalil Ware and you go get that 13th pick, or you go get you use Tyler Hero to go get another decent enough player to help improve the roster. But it is what it is. But if you're telling me Hawkins, Khalil Ware, Tyler Hero, the 13th overall pick, the couple other picks years later, that beats out the Celtics trade. What makes the Celtics dangerous is that possibility of a third team trade. There's right here is the legal 3-team trade for Giannis that includes the Celtics and the Hawks and the Bucks. Milwaukee would receive Dyson Daniels, Zachary Rossashir, Jonathan Kuminga, the 8th overall pick, the first round pick in 27, returned a 31 first and a 33 first. Giannis would go to Boston. Atlanta would receive Jaylen Brown. That's a trade that's a scary option right there. That's where it's like, okay, that is how it plays out. Because if you look at if Boston's only trading 3 first rounders plus their 7, Milwaukee, you're not going to get better anytime soon because you know those picks are late round picks.
Yeah.
You know, you're not getting anything good.
And Milwaukee, realistically, Milwaukee doesn't own any of their picks. So it doesn't do them any good to lose. They want to remain competitive at least. And they
100%.
want to have future draft capital.
Yes.
So if they would own their picks, they'll bottom out. But that's not productive for them. So at the end of the day, I'm intrigued what happens. I'm obviously monitoring the Pelicans. The Pelicans are going to be active. The Pelicans control the 27 draft because they have the possibility of getting 2 picks there. So that's very intriguing part there. And I want to see if it ends up being like a 4-team deal. And obviously secondary moves. There's going to be someone's going to go and acquire Kawhi. You know, someone's going to go and this is the moment that you go and acquire Zion if you want to. Trey Murphy. There's a lot of options. I love Trey Murphy. If Trey Murphy to me is a secondary, I would love because he fits the timeline with Bam and he's young enough. He's kind of like the epitome, the equivalent of the Knicks acquiring Mikal Bridges. That's kind of like that trade or OG Anunoby. You know, those are things that make a move make worthwhile if you miss out on your option, you know, on your first option in Giannis. So I'm telling you, it's going to be an exciting 2 to 3 weeks because it's going to determine a lot.
And there you go right here. Just want to throw this out there. 55-48 Spurs at half.
Yeah.
So the Spurs are over, man. I'm so excited about that finals. I mean, obviously we want to see the Heat there, but it's different, right? You know, I mean, you get Wemby in the finals, you get the Knicks that we haven't seen in a while. So very cool to see that. I'm intrigued. I'm really excited about that final. Who do you think's going to win that final? Is it Spurs?
I think Spurs.
Yes,
I think Spurs. And I just saw that Brunson hurt his knee. He went back to the locker room. So that's another one there. That's a big blow. You know,
is huge.
Is huge. Either way, I thought Spurs in 6. It will be interesting, but I think the Spurs, even with their youth, are going to be able to overcome it and take the series.
Martel, my brother, yes, we
Yes,
are
my
aware.
man.
We talked about it before the show. We're gonna talk to each other about when's the best day, and Alex will connect with you and
we'll get it done.
out.
We're gonna get it done, man.
Brother. Yes, we will. We'll get an episode together. Martel, Miami Heat Zone. You talk Miami Heat. You guys go check them out. Russ, our resident Boston Celtics fan, Russ Morgan, host of On Deck. on
Yeah.
deck. Off this week. He'll be back next week with great baseball coverage. So make sure you check him out as he continues to cover the college baseball playoffs, and of course, Major League Baseball. But he is back, but big blow for the series. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
So Brunson is back. So, and then Evan Sidery says as well that the Heat's trade package features Tyler Hero and Khalil Ware, future draft capital, and they are willing to include any asset except for Bam Adebayo. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now it's just about when that deal, if it gets done, when it gets done, who's that package, who's included in that package. I mean, if we see Pele Larson is off, he's in Miami still, we don't see him included. We don't see Caspers, or we don't see Hawkins. Like, if I don't see Hawkins in there, I'm excited. I'm happy, because Hawkins is great for a playoff team. You don't see Caspers. That's somebody who has that upside. Same thing with Pele. Pele's another player like Hawkins who is like he's going to be able to contribute in a playoff type of team scenario. Those are those. Jovic, we don't know. We'd love to see him stay. He has that
Jovic
upside.
might be a contract. Jovic might be a contract move because
yes,
the money works. So,
exactly.
But they probably don't want it because of his contract. But
that's probably the case.
We'll see.
He might, if there's a 3 or 4 time type of deal, that might be where it comes into play, where you might see him moved in that situation. But we wait and we see. Keep staying in Miami, obviously, as it's East Entry boys, straight out Hialeah. Dolphins, some Fins talk. The Dolphins actually, they continue to add to their wide receiver room. They signed a former first-round pick wide receiver, Jalen Reiger. So very interesting to kind of see. He hasn't done much in his career. Let's not pretend that, obviously first-round wide receiver, can't ignore the talent that he could have, but didn't do much in his career. More of a return man, adds competition to the room. Miami continues to add that competition. We don't know what Chris Bell's status is. However, Alex, just reaction alone, what do you think about Miami continuing to add to that receiver room?
Well, once again, they're a man of their word. They said that there was going to be competition across the board. We understand the wide receiver room to the common fan is very thin, but there's actually some talent there. Not only for Rager, but I'm excited with Chris Bell, Tolbert, Malik Washington. There is some talent in that wide receiver room. There's some speed. There's finally some size. So they're just adding to the competitive nature of that room. And they said, the first thing they said, there's going to be competition across the board. There's no more penciled in starters. Everything is a competitive battle for this upcoming season, and is going to show. And also it gives Rager kind of like a 1 year. I'm pretty sure he signed for the minimum. It kind of gives you the possibility of resurrecting your career. Injuries could happen. Your number could be called. Either way, I expect a huge year from Chris Bell. I think he's an impact player from day one. And I'm just excited, bro. Like, I know there's not a lot of expectation, but the more and more I look at it, we have young players that are hungry and willing to prove. Do I know there's going to be some hard hills that we got to climb through? Absolutely. But I also see some athleticism, some physicality, and talent on this team. So, like, the Miami Dolphins can surprise some people this year. And I think they're going to surprise their fans. I think they're going to go above expectations of what we have in mind for this season, because there's some talent, even defensively. There's some talent in that secondary, man. Like, I'm actually excited for what can be. Like I said, there's growing pains. We know this. But this team is young. They're hungry. They got something to prove. Oh, yeah, the famous line, Justin Jefferson. That's the famous, yep. He's that guy. He's that guy.
I like that Miami continues to add to their room. Again, I believe in Chris Bell. I think Caleb Douglas is going to surprise a lot of people. I know TD Finstock thinks the same as well. I like Miami's chances at that young room. I still believe that we could, everybody talk about quarterback. I'm waiting to talk about quarterbacks. I'm watching them. I'm watching film on these young guys for next year, these rookies. But I believe Malik Willis could surprise some people with a team that believes in him, a front office that believes in him. He's failed. He's tried. He's failed. He succeeded in Green Bay to impress the GM, John Eric Sullivan now, and obviously Coach Hafley to come here and become the starter. We'll see what he does with that responsibility, because if he does well enough to keep the job, I'm just going to say Jeremiah Smith or the Texas wide receiver Coleman Don't sleep on those guys for Miami or Nick Harbor. I know somebody brought him up the other day on South Carolina. I know, big, fast, everything. But obviously, you bring in Jeremiah Smith with Chris Bell, with Caleb Douglas. Oh my gosh. I'm dripping from them. I'm water in the mouth there. I want to say dripping from the mouth. That sounds bad.
That's
but
horrible. Wow.
Leche. I didn't say it. I stopped.
Yeah.
I still said it, but I stopped.
Yeah.
And then
You're
I said,
still salivating.
I'm salivating at the idea.
I'm all moist in my mouth. It's like, what?
Whoa.
What the hell's going on?
My lips are moist. What?
Yeah.
Hold on.
What's going on, bro?
Said anything until that moment right there. I got to get the guy. I knew there were some people in here who weren't saying something. Come on now, guys. Now, other Dolphin news. Dolphins have signed all of their rookies. They signed their final two today, which is Caden Proctor and Chris Johnson. So great news. Rookies are signed, sealed, delivered. Get to work. Get the job done. Excited as we get inch closer and closer. So we inch closer and closer. Just the tip. Now we're getting further and further in.
So moist and just a tip, and then you're penetrating the days. You're just going
getting
into the day.
Closer to the day.
Got you.
To the climax
of
the start
of
the NFL season. I cannot wait.
Nice.
Bada boom. So there you go. She's shaking my head.
We'll just keep digging deeper and deeper.
Keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what she said.
That's right. Yeah, keep it going. I don't know if I could hold it.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen, isn't he? Keenan Allen's not available.
49ers. No. He signed. He signed
right? Yeah.
No. That was it?
Isn't he back on the Chargers? I thought he was.
Yeah, he's back on the Chargers. Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking about Mike Evans. My bad.
It's Keenan
Mike
Allen.
Evans with the 49ers.
If Keenan Allen was available, I'd take him in a heartbeat. For
sure.
If you could get him on a good deal, that's a veteran receiver that I think could still play. Maybe you're thinking of somebody else, or maybe we're thinking of somebody else. You let us know. But I'm sure he's with the Chargers again. He re-signed with the Chargers. Now let's have some fun. Oh, is it raining?
Yeah, it's pouring over here, bro. Pouring.
Oh, are you good?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm under the umbrella. Yeah.
Okay.
Just getting some side moisture here. Some side sprinkling. Yeah, I'm moist. I'm moist on the side of my face.
Yeah. Are you wet?
Slightly, partially.
Let's get to work. No.
Let's get it in.
All right. Let's get on with
it.
All right, Alex. Last week we did, favorite movie per genre. After the show, you kind of laid it into me. You were pissed off. What the fuck, dude? You didn't even let me know. And you saw I had a notebook all done.
Yeah, man. You had a whole file, bro. You had genre. You had everything.
So today I thought I'd make it a little easier for us.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's not easier because you and I know each other very well.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yep. You're
going to get sick. Jamila says you're going to get sick.
Yeah, that's my beautiful. No, babe, I'm not getting wet. I promise you. I'm dry. I'm dry.
She heard you were moist and she had to come in.
Yeah.
She's like, "Whoa, what happened?"
Excited. She's excited.
She's like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah. Is it my turn?
Like, whoa! It's like, oh man, she's scared. I was like, "What's up, Chris? Let's go. Heat, please be pleased to sign Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yes, would love for that to go down. I would love for it to happen right now as we're talking.
Oh, man.
That'd be amazing. When I see messages like that, comments like that on the show, you get me excited. Let me see here. Keep seeing this loser on here. Decorum. Oh man. But let's go ahead and get to here. 2 truths, 1 lie, Alex. Jamila cannot answer. Jamila, please do not say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured what you were going to say. I figured it was ass. I thought you were just being kind and not putting that in there.
Yeah,
but she did. Decorum, you asked. Have some decorum.
Decorum,
you words. You sus. I thought she was saying sus, like you sus.
Yeah,
like, what? That's right. As things fall behind me. There you go. We're live, bro. We're live.
It was a nice slow fall, too.
It was a slow fall.
Amazing. Assistant production manager, please. Anybody?
It's good. We gotta. Let's see if I can work on this very quickly.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. Doesn't look so bad behind me, I don't think.
You're fine. It's fine, bro.
if I turn off the green screen, let's see.
Beautiful.
There you
Right
go.
there. Not bad.
You'll see that stupid glitch behind me. That pisses me off. But
That's okay.
if I do that, you can see the green screen where it ended up. There you go. Oh, no, you can't. Good. Okay, got to work that way.
You're
All right,
fine.
I see
You're
for me.
good.
Clean up on aisle 2. Yes.
Yeah.
Clean up on aisle 69. Anyway.
What?
So, whoa! Okay. 2 truths, 1 lie. Now, why this is harder for you and me, Alex, probably not for the audience because they don't really know what the truth and lie is. You and I know each other pretty well, right? So,
correct.
Hopefully you've had some time to kind of think how you could play this game.
I'll let you go first. I'm still thinking of mine, but I'll let you go first if you're ready.
I'm not. I'll let you go.
You're
first.
not?
Let you
Okay,
go first.
perfect. Okay. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go into this. Okay. So 2 truths, 1 lie.
2 truths, 1 lie.
Perfect. Okay. My favorite color is orange. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. And an interesting one that you don't know about me. My first love was always basketball.
This is easy. Basketball is not true. It's not your first love. That's baseball, I think, if I remember. The astronaut is true.
Correct.
Orange is not your favorite color.
It is.
It is or it's not.
Orange is my favorite color.
What's the lie?
The lie is a basketball.
Oh, okay. So I did get it right.
First,
okay,
yeah,
no,
you got that one right.
Okay. So
you're playing a different game. You're playing one.
I'm playing reverse.
The
lie is
basketball is my first love.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's the lie, and the truth is orange and astronaut. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Still, though, I got him right though. I didn't. Okay.
It's hard. Huh?
It is.
It's hard. Because it's funny. You start thinking about everything in life, and you're like, damn, he pretty much knows everything I'm going to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless it's like a weekend I don't know about that. No.
There was a wild weekend one time.
A wild weekend.
Okay. Okay. Damn, this is fucking tough. Okay. I've eaten deer jerky. I've owned 6 cars, and I've swam with dolphins.
Damn.
Got your ass.
Shit. I know you've eaten deer jerky. I know you own multiple cars, but I don't know if it's 6 exactly. So you might be tricking me on the number. I'm gonna say, damn, I'm gonna go with the 6 cars.
As what?
No, you've had own. I'm gonna go with dolphins. I don't think you've ever swum with dolphins.
So the truth, you're saying truth is eating deer jerky.
Yes.
One of the truths is I've owned 6 cars. And
yes.
a lie is I've swum with dolphins.
You swam with dolphins, yes.
That's true. You got them all
there
right.
You go.
Yeah, that's
there
right.
you go. Because I'm like, I was trying to think of the cars. I'm like, I've owned also like 6, 7 cars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's 6. Yeah.
I think I'm like, okay, this one. Yep.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. I was like, when you said, I know you've eaten deer jerky, I was like, shit. I was like,
yeah.
I was trying to think of another one, but 2 truths, 1 lie. So much fun.
Okay.
Let's see. He didn't swim with dolphins. I would swim with dolphins. If I could, I would.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The thing I probably would never really do, but I did, was eat deer jerky. Because it's deer. I'm like, I know, but people up here eat deer. And when I had it open, I was like, I'll try it out. I'm not scared to swim with dolphins. I would love to swim with a dolphin. I love dolphins. You see, I would like to swim with an orca, but I'm not going to do that. That would kill me.
That's for sure. That's
but like, I love, those are my favorite animals. Those right there, like,
definitely
legitimately. you know. All right. Uh, let's see here. Would you go to space today, Alex?
Yes.
Oh, what
I
about
would.
that moon base? What about the moon base? Did you hear about the moon base?
No, I did not.
NASA is going to build a moon base on the moon. They're going to take
Oh,
3
shit.
trips, and so astronauts could live and work on the moon.
Wow, that's actually
Yes.
pretty cool. I would
Yeah.
definitely go to space, man. There's something to me about the infinity of space that you're just. It must be a very humbling experience when you're there, especially with zero gravity. So you're legit just floating. You're part of you are part of the universe, and you're just floating around. But it just to me, space, the infinite, to me is amazing because there's no end in sight, and that's the moment you realize how minuscule you are as a human being in this whole grand scheme of things. And we're part of a solar system that's within a galaxy that has other solar systems, and you're like, there's something greater out there. So it's the uncertainty that always intrigued me. It is that's why to me the coolest picture ever taken is of Earth, when the astronaut takes up, like, you're taking a picture of your home, and I'm like, that's insane. And there's living organisms there inside where you're taking a picture of, and there's just, it looks like it's a circle, but you can actually penetrate that stratosphere. It's like, to me, it's amazing, you know. So yeah, I would definitely.
If I was an
I would go
astronaut, I'm
space.
coming back to Earth. That's the first thing I'm saying. Okay, guys, we're about to penetrate the atmosphere.
Yeah,
Here we go.
ready?
Take it slow.
Ready?
We're getting in
About
there
to catch
rough.
some fire.
Here we go. It burns. It burns. It's like you never want to hear those words.
Yeah.
No, you know that it's true. You know, it's crazy. My son is really intrigued. Right away, he's like, "I'll live there." My wife,
Yeah,
like, "You're not doing
yeah.
that," you know. But
Yeah. Moms are usually always like that.
yeah. But my son, for sure, he wants to do that, and to me, it's just to go into go to space. I think the flight up and the flight return would be the scariest thing. That's the thing I would have to get over, because once you're there, you're in space. It's amazing, right? You know, you got to think. You're in a vast of nothingness, not almost nothingness, but still, it's like, and you look back and you see your planet, you see where you're supposed to be, and you know all the people you love is down there.
Yeah,
that's the creep. That's like, wow, you know.
I will feel like I was in Space Jam when the monsters came over from their planet into Earth, and they came crashing into Earth. That's why I would kind of like gravitate to, and I'm like, holy shit, is this real? Like, am I actually just floating around?
You gotta think about it. Like, for the astronauts that are gonna live there, I think I'll stay right here. Yeah, well, that's the thing. See, that's the thing, right? The issue for me, that's what probably would hold me, is because I would do it if I know it's like, instead of like a straight. Because think about what just happened in northern Florida, right? In Cape Canaveral, whatever it's called. Yeah. You know, this rocket exploded.
Yeah.
You know, they were doing a test and it exploded, and I mean, it looked like a nuke. How it went off. I mean, it lit up.
You know how much rocket fuel that has?
Yes, it's horrible. But again, that's the feel. Like, it's like the taking off and the landing, getting through the atmosphere, and you're hoping everything's going to work, because there's been so many different. Of course, that could go with anything, but there's been so many of those situations that you're like, I'd rather just stay, unless if I'm going to risk it all, unless there's like a, God forbid, comet heading to Earth, and you're like, okay, I got to go to space. We have that option. I'm taking it, right? You know. But
I just like to think of all the things that you would do in regular day life in space. Like, how would that be?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But think about it, like,
imagine sex in space.
Jesus. I never actually mentioned anything.
You're fighting gravity. It's like you're like slow. Everything's slow motion.
I can't go fast. I can't.
Like, boobies just like floating. But slow, but like super slow. Wow.
So imagine Bobby eating space food. Exactly. That's
my god.
So, but I will say, like, one of my favorite things as a kid growing up was I was going to NASA, and I would love to bring my kids there. We've gone to in Alabama. There's the Space Center there, and which is really cool. And I've actually had it. I bought it there when I was there. But I remember growing up as a kid, it was so cool to eat the space ice cream. It's not really ice cream because it's dry, you know. But it's like you're eating a ice cream sandwich, you know.
Yeah.
Your morning piss is your water, Bobby. Yeah, I know. That's where I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro.
I'm good.
Let's go get some water. Wherever we're going, we better have water. That's all I'm saying.
Is there gonna be water? Is there gonna be chicken wings here? Like, are we gonna
Yeah,
have
that's
food?
the thing. You know what I mean? If you're
Yeah.
good, we got some. Don't worry, bro. We got some dry rub chicken wings. Oh,
Yeah.
really? I guess
Really?
I'll eat that. It's
Yeah.
not. It's like space dry.
A steak.
like-
Yeah, it's the jerky. What
yeah,
is
it's the jerky. It's the skin of it. Like, ah, man, circumcised chicken. I don't want that.
it? Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
you know, but no, you know what I think? I think about the astronauts. If you go, if there's, the astronauts that would be on the moon base, they're going to be there. They got to, how long it takes a week to get there, right? And then you're going to be there for a year. And I think the idea is for them to stay a year and then fly back, and and then they switch out. I think that's what the idea is, if I remember correctly. My thing is like, even for like, we talk about going to Mars for, my son, like, it's like, it'll take a year to get there, a year to get back. You're not going to come back after a year, because then what's the point? Like, you would have to be, I think, a single individual, someone who's single. You can't have kids. You can't have a, family, I mean, I guess you could, but then, you're risking.
You're risking a lot.
So that's going to be tough. That's tough for the astronauts, especially the ones who do have families who want to do that, who are like, I dreamt about living.
Bro, what is that Adam Sandler movie? Oh my God, that even hallucinates, and he's talking to the. He did a serious movie that he was an astronaut, and it involved
really? I
that.
never seen.
Yeah, dude, it's actually amazing. Well, I'll find the name. I'll find the name for it. It's amazing. It's an amazing movie.
Yeah, but that's just crazy that they would do that. That the plan is to do that. So we'll see. We'll see for sure. But I don't want Alex to get hypothermia or whatever the hell they call it, or a cold. So get ready to wrap this up. Alex, what plans you got coming up this week?
Well, man, actually, we're celebrating the team, the basketball team. Hopefully, if the rain cooperates, we're going to be out in the water on Friday with the whole basketball team, kind of like culminating of the season, a team celebration. And just family time, man. Catching up, a lot of things at home, relaxing, enjoying, and taking advantage of the free time. It's school's wrapping up now tomorrow, so summer starts here for us. I know you're already a little bit ahead of that, so
yeah,
we're
got
good.
Summer right now. Summer school's in for the daughter, for my oldest, but we're in summer right now, and like I said, me and the wife, we got the kids. The in-laws are out, so kind of a little bit, not miss them, but freedom, a little bit, chilling out, getting to relax. And we are going to celebrate. We're getting close to the 14th wedding anniversary coming up soon, and the wife's birthday too. So we've got a lot of stuff happening in June. But guys, as we continue to wait for Giannis Antetokounmpo, possibly to the Miami Heat, if and when it does happen, make sure you're subscribed to FTSN for breaking news coverage. Dolphins fans, Heat fans, Canes fans, Marlins, Panthers, sports, wrestling, and all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for great sports content here on the Fin Talk Sports Network. That's Alex the Boy. I'm Bobby El Gringo. Like and subscribe, and good night, Miami.
Buenas noches.
Bobby El Gringo's in the house. Straight out of Hialeah, no doubt. East 10th Street, where we play out. Here we bring the Miami